Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back and happy 9/9/19. Today is a very interesting day. Everybody that I've been speaking to so far has just been feeling all kinds of different ways, let's put it that way. But in today's video, what I wanted to talk about was that I got a download about downloads. And it's kind of important because I've been unpacking this, which I will explain over the last few days, and it's about what downloads really are. And there's a lot of people out there. First of all, welcome, a great big huge welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you for coming to this channel and checking out my content. I hope that I can be of assistance in some way with the material I put out. But I noticed that some of the comments, especially lately, people are starting to feel as if they're left behind, or they're not doing something right, or somehow they're missing the boat, that they're not connected, they're not online, they're not receiving the information that other people are receiving. And first, stop right there. It's not you. It's simply a shift in perspective. And I'm going to get into that because I'm going to talk about what downloads actually are, the truth behind downloads. And I think if you think about getting a download, especially like a multi-dimensional or spiritual download, we all tend to have the idea of it being like Trinity in the Matrix.
Can you fly that thing?
Not yet.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry. Let's go.
Now, it's pretty cool that you can just dial up and say, I need this download, boom, and a new program. And I think that's part of the problem, is that display of that. Yes, downloads can happen that quickly, but for the most part, I believe, because I receive downloads, but they come as like what you would call an epiphany or a vision or a claircognizance, like an inner knowing. And when these things come, let's explain what it is, because we're multidimensional beings, and we know that everything there's light around in everything. There's energy, and energy is light. Well, light, what is light? It's information. So when you're learning how to go within and trust yourself, you're learning how to decipher or interpret information via light codes, if you call them that. They're light packets, like there's a lot of different names. And I think some of the people in the spiritual community that are new to awakening are starting, getting confused, or starting to feel left behind because of the terminology that we're using. So let's just break it down and make it simple so that you understand, like, you're already online. You're already connected. And don't doubt yourself. You're exactly where you need to be. And I think this comes as in part of the process of learning how to connect to your multidimensional self, how to go within, how to connect to your higher self, your higher selves, your soul, your upline, whatever you want to call it. How to make that connection and get clear information. It comes with practice and trust. It comes with going within. So if you think you're suddenly, and this can happen, but for the most part, most people on this ascension journey and spiritual awakening path, you don't just have that light switch moment where suddenly you're hearing voices that are not your own inner voice, or you're suddenly seeing energy, unless maybe you went on an acid trip, or maybe ayahuasca, or you did some kind of something, or your gifts are turning on and you're going higher and trusting more, and your filters are being removed. Because most of the people on the spiritual awakening path, when you start awakening, you don't just have a light switch moment where that's all turned on. I think a lot of people would probably go a little, I don't want to say insane for lack of sensitivity, but let's just say a lot of people would have a hard time adjusting to a multi-dimensional light body, multi-dimensional realities. I know one person that actually did personally, that actually did have that connection suddenly, and they were having trouble walking, just stepping up on a curb because they could see 3 different curbs like overlaid, and it was a real problem. So they didn't drive for quite a while, and that's a whole nother story. But the point I want to get across, especially if you're watching this channel, if you're new to awakening, or even if you've been on the path a while and you're starting to doubt, like, when is this ever going to happen? Everybody keeps saying my gifts are going to open, or something's coming, or these things. I've said these things myself. I feel the energy, I feel the waves, and I interpret it the best that I can from my perspective. I don't claim to be a psychic or no dates. I mentioned this in my last video because in 2 videos before that, there was a download that I had. And what was that? What is the download? Okay, so a download, you can think of it like an epiphany. I'm going to use that word, but you can insert whatever word resonates with you, like inspiration or musing, vision, whatever works for you. So I'm going to call it an epiphany. It's sort of like an aha moment. So you might be sitting outside on your back porch or your front porch, or you could be in the shower, or you could be waking up in the morning, especially the in-between, or you're starting to go to sleep and suddenly you wake up because you know something just comes to you. And when these moments come to you, it's knowledge and information that comes in like a package. And so if you want to look at it as a physical package, what happens when you get a package? You usually, read where it came from, and you have to open it, and then there's usually a box, and then you have to open the box or cut the tape. You have to open up the box. You have to take out what's inside. There might be another box inside, or there could be wrapping around it. You have to take that off. And then when you get down to the item that's in there, it might have another encasing or box or small box, depending on if you order from Amazon or something like that, a box within a box within a box. And so what do you do when you get down to the actual information? Sometimes there's like an owner's manual, user manual, or, something like that. So sometimes you'll read the owner's manual. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes you can just figure it out on your own. Like, say, for an example, an Alexa Fire Cube. Some people might read the cover-to-cover book that comes with it, and other people might just be like, all right, give me the quick start guide. Where's the quick start guide? Let me just plug and play. And some things are easy to plug and play. So when these downloads come, sometimes they're very easy. So for me, I had an initial download about a week ago about downloads. And it was because of some of the comments that I had read from you guys and other people in my daily waking life talking about getting information from their higher self or their soul and feeling like they're left behind. And I really feel it's important over the next couple of days. I thought about this for a little bit. I meditated on it. I contemplated. So this is part of the unpacking process. So the download comes. It's like a package of information. And what you do with that package is up to you. So everybody is getting downloads. Let's be perfectly clear. You are getting downloads. Every single person that is in a body is connected to energy and the filaments and is on this planet. You are getting downloads. Do not doubt yourself. Okay? That's important. Doubting yourself can only lead to keeping yourself closed to unpacking a box. It's like saying, no, I didn't get a package. I'm not going to walk outside and see. Or say your mail's delivered and in your mailbox it has a small package that's sent from somewhere and it's not like left at your doorstep. Well, if you don't think you're getting a package, are you going to go bother checking the mail? you know, I know you probably check the mail every day, but that's maybe a bad example. But you get the point, right? If you don't think you're getting a package, why are you going to go outside and look? But it's like reverse that. Instead of going outside of you to unpack the downloads, they're multidimensional. They can't be felt with the physical body. You have to go inside to check for your package deliveries. So when you get an inspiration or an idea about something and you feel like, ooh, this could really go down the rabbit hole, and then you don't write it down, or you don't take the time to unpack that by contemplating and asking questions about it so that you get more answers within about what this is. So for me, I got the download about downloads. So what I did was I meditated on it. I asked questions about it. I asked if there's any way that I could make another video and help people understand that they are all getting downloads. Is everybody getting downloads? So yes, you are. And that was an answer I got. So now this ties in with claircognizance. Because when you go within, it doesn't mean you have to sit in meditation, but if you have a quiet contemplation moment where you can actually go inside yourself and ask the questions about your download, about your package. You're interpreting light. You're learning how to interpret the information that is light. And whatever words and terminologies people are using, instead of downloads, you could just use information. You could use claircognizance. You could use, I'm trying to think of another word for that. Download is a really good word for it because it literally is like the computer of your brain and you're getting a new piece to the puzzle. So anyway, I digress. Everybody is getting these downloads. So when I would go within and ask questions about it, I got more information. It's like expanding on integrating the information, unpacking the package or the download. That is what you're doing when you spend time thinking and contemplating about the epiphany that you received, the download that you received. And what happens is, it's not like it's something that you already knew. Like that Trinity thing, for example. She didn't know how to fly the helicopter, right? So she got a new software program and boom, she knew how to fly that helicopter. Not all downloads come as information that's new to us. Some of the information we just already know, we just forgot and we're remembering. So it's very familiar to us, and that's why we tend to write it off. So while your soul is remembering, while your personality is remembering the familiarity with your soul and your spirit and that being, that state of being, while you're reacclimating to information that you already know, you still might have forgotten that you knew it. So it feels like it's new information, but there's something very familiar about it. So when you're getting downloads, if they're meant just for you, you'll know. If you're meant to share it, you'll know. If it's meant for you to guide you in how you're supposed to behave or act or action you're supposed to take, you'll know. And this ties directly in with claircognizance, which is a gift of knowing things, just internally knowing things. And if you're not ready for that, that's okay. But when you shift your perspective about, yeah, I'm getting downloads, so use a mantra daily about, instead of saying, I'm not getting downloads, or I'm not as far along as they seem to be, or this person seems to be, or this, whoever. If whoever you're watching and listening to, just know that everybody, we're all in this together. Where we go one, we go all. We know this already. We're all getting the downloads. We're all getting the information that we need to steer our personal ships in our own harbor, to steer our life, to continue with the mission that we all internally know as well. So when you're getting that download and you're getting that epiphany or you're getting that vision, trust and know if you don't write it down, it might bug you again. It'll come up again later because it's something that, attention is supposed to be brought to that for a reason. That's why that download came at that time. That's why that vision hit you. That's why that information or epiphany came to you, is because it's necessary for you at that time. But you, with free will, you can still choose to ignore that. You can choose to put that up on a shelf and look at that later. It's okay. You make that choice. But if you're choosing to look at the information and say, could this be a download? Especially if you think you've never had downloads before. If you choose to go into that deeper, just sit with it. Just ask the inner questions like, how can this help me? Or what am I supposed to do with this information? And you'll know the answers. And it's whether or not you want to take the action that's being brought to you. So if it's something about, let's say it's how to make some more money and it's some way to do it that you don't want to do and you need to do it that way. It could be anything. But whatever it is, if you're not choosing to take the action, it's okay, but you're getting that information, you're getting that guidance, you're getting the downloads. The more you listen, the more clear, cognizant you will become. The more inner knowing will connect with all of that, and the more you will be trusting yourself, that you're connected to your higher self, that you're getting the information that you need. So really, the downloads are, and the trust with those, and the unpacking, taking the time to really look at that, to integrate that, so that you're ready to either present, take action on, share, or whatever. Just go about your day incorporating that. When you're ready for those, the next step with that download, you'll get more, and you'll get them clearer. You'll get more, like, information on how to fly a helicopter, maybe, downloads of stuff that you really never knew before. So new overlaying skill sets can come in, and that all comes with time, but that's all part of the process. It's not an overnight click your finger, light switch thing. It is something that takes time to develop, and you're all getting what you need. So trust that and take the time to contemplate the epiphanies that you're getting through the day. Give yourself, even if it's 5 minutes before you go to bed. 5 minutes is not a lot, and it can do amazing things to nourish your soul and your spirit, to really contemplate what's being given to you from the realms we can't see with our physical eyes. And you'll see them with your inner eyes when you trust. And the more you trust, the more you see. So again, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and thank you so much for subscribing. I love you guys. If you want weekly readings, I do them over on Patreon, so visit there or check out my website, teachpeacedesigns.com. There's a store in there. I offer sessions. I do all that. So all the information is down in the description box. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back when I have more to share. Love you.